Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a horror film. Don't be afraid of the dark. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film begins in the 18th century at Blackwood Manor. A maid is summoned by a bell ringing nearby. She reaches the staircase leading to the basement to meet her boss, Lord Blackwood. She begins to descend slowly. As she approaches the center of the stairwell, she trips over a rope and falls. Lord Blackwood looks terrified of something and towers over the maid. Then he quickly mounts her, and we hear a murmur coming from the fireplace. Most of his teeth are missing, and he can barely speak. He says he is sorry and uses tools to remove the maid's teeth. He then approaches the fireplace with a small ashtray full of teeth and begs some evil fairies to return his son to him, as he has collected the teeth they asked for. The evil fairies, however, prefer to feed only on children's teeth, so as punishment, they drag Lord Blackwood into the fireplace. The scene shifts a few centuries later to a girl named Sally. Her parents are divorced, and the court entrusted Sally to her father. Later, she meets her father, Alex, and his new wife, who is now Sally's stepmom. Together, they travel to their new home, which is the Blackwood Manor itself. Once there, they meet the gardener, who shows them around the house. Sally enters the study room, and her stepmother follows her to try to break the ice. Sally seems disinterested and coldly says that her mother has abandoned her. Alex accompanies Sally to her room and tries to show her all the beautiful things inside. Nevertheless, Sally locks herself in the bathroom and begins to cry. She suffered a heavy trauma when her mother abandoned her, and now, to make matters worse, her father is with another woman. Eventually, Sally comes out and lies down on the bed, saying she needs to sleep. Stepmom tries to figure out how to gain Sally's trust. However, Alex reassures her that Sally will learn to like her. In the meantime, the evil fairies in the fireplace murmur Sally's name, but she hears nothing because she has placed a pillow over the vent so that she cannot hear her parents talk. The next morning, Sally is sitting on a bench and hears voices calling her name from the backyard garden, so she starts following the voices. Sally comes across a fairy ring of mushrooms as she walks through the garden, which is a very important detail. Some cultures believe that they are a sign of an underground fairy village. As she walks through the bushes, she notices that they are hiding something. She shakes off the plants and notices a basement. Suddenly, the gardener appears and tries to take her away, saying it is dangerous. The couple arrive, and the gardener warns them not to come back here. It's revealed that the gardener's grandfather worked here a long time ago, so he knows some scary things that the others don't know about. Sally points to windows that lead to a basement. When her parents find it, they go back into the house, and Alex takes a hammer to find the entrance to the basement. After Alex smashes the wall, they rush together into the same basement that we saw at the beginning of the film. Sally is eager to investigate and shifts her gaze to the chained fireplace. She gets closer and hears voices calling her name. The couple says it's time to return to the house, and Sally follows them. The next day, Sally goes down to the basement with a wrench. She starts unscrewing bolts to open the chimney, but her father suddenly arrives, and she hides the tools. Sally reveals that she has heard voices coming from the chimney. When Alex puts his ear close to listen, the evil fairies stretch the needle toward his ear. Hearing nothing, Alex backs away just in time to avoid the needle. He decides to return and tells her to follow him. As Sally is about to leave, the evil fairies completely unscrew the bolts, and the chimney lid falls off. Sally approaches and finds a small tray of teeth left by Lord Blackwood a couple of centuries ago. She grabs a tooth and immediately runs upstairs. That night, Sally refuses to eat the rice, and Alex tells her to go to bed. The next scene shows how the key to the basement falls on the floor and is dragged under the bed. The evil fairies enter the house, and Sally hears voices calling her. The fairies try to convince her that her parents don't want her and that they can be friends. In reality, the evil fairies are hungry and want her teeth. Soon after, Alex enters her room and the evil fairies hide. Before going to sleep, Sally puts the tooth she found under her pillow. The next morning, Alex notices that his razor blade is gone. In the meantime, stepmom rushes into the wardrobe and finds her dress in tatters. Alex confronts Sally and scolds her, but she claims it is not her fault. Alex sees Sally clutching something in her hands and discovers an old coin she found under her pillow. Later, the couple leaves for some business. While they are away, Sally sneaks down into the basement with grapes and approaches the fireplace with a flashlight. The evil fairies want to capture Sally, but they cannot do so because of the light. When they complain about the light, Sally turns off the flashlight and places the food on the fireplace. When the evil fairies are about to come out, the gardener comes down with a flashlight and orders Sally back into the house. Next, he points the flashlight at the chimney and goes to close it. Unfortunately, some evil fairies were already hiding in the shadows and tipped over the flashlight. They start attacking him from all sides, using various items from the toolbox, such as box cutters and scissors. They stab and slash the gardener repeatedly, but fail to kill him because the housemaid arrives. The bloody gardener goes upstairs and collapses, with the scissors protruding from his shoulder. When the couple returns home, they are met by the police. The maid is in tears and panic, telling them what happened to the gardener. That evening, stepmom takes Sally to bed. When she is about to leave, Sally asks her to stay because she is scared. However, later in the night, stepmom wakes up, leaves the teddy bear beside Sally, and returns to her room. Soon after, the evil fairies bring down the nightlight of the merry-go-round, and Sally wakes up. One of them sneaks under the sheets. Sally crawls under the covers with the flashlight, but happens to shine the light on the monster, causing it to scream. Sally bursts out screaming, and the couple rushes into her room. They calm her down as the evil fairies retreat into the vent. The next day, Alex asks a psychiatrist to help Sally. Sally reveals that the evil fairies tell her that her parents don't love her. In fact, the evil fairies prey for Sally's fears. The psychiatrist tells the father that Sally is very anxious and has a deep belief that she is not wanted. In reality, demons take advantage of her anxiety to enter her life. Her desire to love and be loved is what makes her vulnerable. In fact, the fairies destroyed her stepmother's dress to turn the couple against Sally. Then, the fairies tried to convince her that they were her friends in order to lure her into the fireplace. Nevertheless, the psychiatrist concludes that the evil fairies are fictitious and gives her more medicine. The next evening, the couple goes out on a trip to town. The maid offers to look after Sally and prepares her bath. Sally enters the bathroom and slips into the tub. Meanwhile, stepmom visits the gardener in the hospital. He can barely speak now and tells her to get Sally out of that house as soon as possible. He also tells her to go to a specific library and ask about the latest works of Lord Blackwood, who was also a painter. In the library, stepmom finds Blackwood's last paintings that have not been published. The librarian, who has studied this subject, reveals that these evil fairies eat the bones and teeth of their victims, mostly kids. On one painting, she finds the inscription, "One life must be taken," and the librarian reveals that human beings can be transmuted into these evil fairies. In all likelihood, all these little fairies were once human beings, and most of them were children. This process has been going on for many centuries, since a greedy man made a pact with the devil. It's said that the man would bring the devil the children's teeth in exchange for silver coins. Stepmom realizes that Blackwood's drawings are very similar to what Sally draws. Shocked, she decides to return home and reveal everything to her husband. On the other side, the evil fairies follow Sally into the bathroom and turn off the light. When Sally gets out of the bath, the evil fairies come out of the darkness and begin to surround her. Sally screams and tries to escape, but the evil fairies break the lock on the door. Then she falls into the empty tub, while the evil fairies with sharp tools crawl over the sides and curtains. The maid and other men try to break down the door. Just as the evil fairies are about to capture Sally, the men burst in and turn on the lights. The couple returns home to find the maid in a frenzy, claiming that Sally is crying in her bed. Stepmom rushes upstairs, but can't find Sally. Alex speculates that she may have run away, and they go looking for her. In the car, she tries to tell him what she discovered in the library, but Alex doesn't believe her. When they spot Sally on the side of the road, Alex stops and tells her to get on board, promising that they will sell the house tomorrow. The next day, everyone prepares for the visit of potential clients. Stepmom is in Sally's room and finds a razor blade in the drawer. Sally insists that she needs it to defend herself and complains that no one believes her. Stepmom tells her that she believes her, and Sally explains that evil fairies dislike bright light. Stepmom comes up with an idea and hands Sally an old camera to photograph the evil fairies. Sally walks around the party, taking pictures of the people arriving. She notices a small flower pot swaying and hears whispers. She gets close enough to see an evil fairy and takes a picture, which is startling. Sally is overjoyed to have proof and tries to show it to her father, but the picture has not yet developed. Later, Alex, Sally, and all the guests gather at the table. Sally shakes the picture to get it developed, but the curious guests keep touching it, so she puts it under her thigh. At one point, an evil fairy appears under the table and tries to steal a photo to get rid of the evidence. Sally spots it and begins to fidget, attracting the attention of the guests. Subsequently, the evil fairy manages to steal a photo and destroy it. Sally crawls under the table with the camera. Eventually, the evil fairy leads her down the hallway and into the studio, where the other evil fairies close the door behind her. They whisper that no one will believe her and mock her. Sally takes pictures at every opportunity to keep the fairies at bay. On the other hand, they start knocking down books and paintings, creating a mess. Then they start jumping on her, and Sally bursts out screaming. Alex and the guests rush to the studio door, but find it locked. As Sally struggles with the evil fairies, one of them grabs the camera and climbs up the side of a shelf. Sally notices this and hastily slides the shelf against the evil fairy, crushing it. The camera takes a picture before falling to the floor. Alex and the guests manage to force the door open and find Sally crying. She claims to have proof, but when she shows the only photo she has left, it is simply a photo of her screaming. The guests leave, promising to return another time. Later, Sally falls asleep and stepmom goes to talk to Alex. He finally realizes that they have to get out of the haunted manor. Stepmom tells him to get the car ready while she goes to wake Sally. Alex goes into the garage and puts pillows on the backseat. The evil fairies are under the car and use a rope to make Alex fall, knocking him unconscious. They then crawl to the electrical box and cut the wires, turning off all the lights. Stepmom grabs a flashlight and starts walking down the hallways. She descends the steps in the dark and trips on a wire, falling and cutting herself in the shin. As she is about to lose consciousness, she notices that fairies are gradually gathering around her. Sally wakes up upstairs and calls her stepmom. She takes the camera, goes down the hall, and finds her unconscious on the floor. After Sally approaches her stepmom, the evil fairies grab her and drag Sally into the basement. Alex wakes up and tries to get out of the garage, but the door is locked. In the process, stepmom wakes up, grabs the flashlight, and goes to the basement. The evil fairies tie Sally's ankles with a rope and try to drag her into the chimney hole. Stepmom shines the flashlight to keep the evil fairies away and tries to save Sally. Meanwhile, Alex finds an entrance to the house, but finds the door to the basement locked. In an attempt to enter, he peers through the keyhole, and the evil fairies use a sharp needle to stab his cheek. Stepmom finds a box cutter and begins to free Sally, telling her to run her shitty life away. But Sally insists that she doesn't want to abandon her. In the process, the evil fairies wrap rope around Stepmom's legs. She frees Sally, infuriating the fairies, and she is dragged inside the chimney. Alex finally manages to break inside and notices his wife clinging to the sides of the chimney, but it is too late. She is dragged completely into the hole and disappears. Sally cries as Alex picks her up and they run away. A few days later, Alex and his daughter return to the manor. Sally lays a drawing of her and her stepmom on the floor and says she loves her. Alex then closes the door and they leave the manor. Moments later, the basement door opens and the wind carries the drawing to the fireplace. In the final scene, we discover that the stepmom has been transformed into an evil fairy, as we hear her voice reassuring the other evil fairies of the arrival of other inhabitants. After centuries, no one has been able to stop the evil fairies, and now they look forward to meeting their new guests. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.